Last week, the Gratton Cup Series field went to the Talladega Super Speedway, and in a typically chaotic race, a long losing streak came to an end as Kelly Lee, after 92 consecutive races without a win, finally broke through and got her first win since Season 2 at Richmond a long time ago. Well, today she starts in the mid-pack, and we've got a very interesting field. We've got a very interesting lineup here at the Kansas Speedway for the 13th race of the season, one of the better tracks on the calendar, and usually one of the more chaotic tracks on the schedule as well. This is the Hollywood Casino 400, the 13th race of the 6th season of the Gratton Cup Series. Hello everybody and welcome to the Gratton Cup Series Season 6, race number 13 here at the Kansas Speedway in Kansas City. It's the Hollywood Casino 400, and we are very much looking forward to this race. 67 laps around this 1.5 mile intermediate speedway. We're really looking forward to this race. Kansas is always a fun race on the calendar, and tonight hopefully will be no exception. And we're thoroughly looking forward to this one. It's been a very interesting season. The championship got a little bit closer. It was I don't know if I'd say it was a 0-all draw. Dawson Miller was the championship leader coming into this race. Didn't have a great run. He was involved in some incidents, had some damage. Henrik Wall couldn't really capitalise. The driver on the outside of the front row in this race, Brandon Bent, finished third. And he's back within 30 points. He's looking for that third Gratton Cup Series championship. Season 2, Season 4 champion. He's got a very good starting position in this race. He wants to make some ground, but you can see that 3M Honda starting from 7th tonight. Henrik Wall second in the championship, starting 10th. So this is going to be a very interesting race, no doubt about it, and we'll see how this one plays out. My name is Stuart Gratton. I'm on my own here tonight. It's just going to be a solo call, and we're looking forward to this race, as I said, and should be a highly entertaining one here at the Kansas Speedway. We'll take a look here at this championship standing. The championship standings coming into this race. You see it on your screen now. Dawson Miller, as I said, lost a bit of ground in that championship battle last week, but he's 27 points ahead of Henrik Wall still, so still a good position for him to be in. Wall starting 10th, as we mentioned here in this race. Miller starting 7th. Brandon Bent starting 2nd in this race. He's 29 back. He had a great run last week. Finished 3rd at Talladega. And, he's in the game. 29 back. Noah Clifton, who's had not a great few weeks in the number 13. He's now 44 back, 4th in the championship. Dominic Anthony is more than a race back. He is 58 back. So only the top 4 could leave here the championship lead in this race. But Anthony 5th in the championship, really desperate for a win. He's really desperate for a win, I can guarantee you that. Kelly Lee starts 22nd in this race, 6th in the championship. Of course, broke that long losing streak last week. 92 races, so a fair old while between drinks. 3rd longest losing streak in series history, by the way. Only Benny Watson and Jonathan King had longer losing streaks. Matthew Hubert is 7th in the championship. He is 67 back, although he's a long way back in the field in this race. Rogel Dawn, 71 back, 8th in the championship, having a great year, the GRL champion. Richard Fridge and Jake Rogers involved in incidents last week, so they dropped 3 positions each. Fridge 9th in the championship, Rogers 10th in the championship, 75 and 81 back respectively. So that's your top 10 in terms of the championship standings, and there's some really big names that are outside this top 10 in the championship. Our reigning champion, Tristan Allen's 14th in points. Benny Watson, who starts 4th in this race, he was the runner-up in the championship. He's 15th in points. Alexander Rowe, our pole sitter in this race. This is his 3rd pole of the year, by the way. He's got the best average starting position for any driver in the field by a country mile. He just hasn't been able to get all the results. He's had a lot of poor results, it should be said. But he's 17th in points. And then Raleigh has been a perennial chase driver, contender driver. 18th. Julio Cesar has won the last 2 races here at Kansas. He's 23rd in the championship. So there's some really big names, some really big teams that are a lot further down the order than they would have hoped. So, I mean, look, there's still, there's 18 races, including tonight. So there is still time, but you can't really have too many more bad races, because with the way that Miller's been going, he will be very hard to beat in this championship. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. Thanks to Budget Car and Truck Rental. Alexander Rowe's on the pole. As I said, it's his 3rd pole of the season. His average starting position is under 10, just to kind of emphasise how good of a year he's been in terms of qualifying. He's had in terms of qualifying. But he starts the pole here in this race. He's got Brandon Bent alongside him in the number 27, third in the championship coming into this race, looking for his third championship in the series. How about Thomas Troxell? 29th in the championship coming into this race. By far and away, a career best start. He's from the third position alongside Benny Watson, the Atlanta winner. As I said, 15th in the points. Would love to make some ground up here tonight. He's got two teammates right behind him. His two teammates, I should say. Jared Oren and Eli Bright. So Ennis racing with 3 cars inside the top 6. And then 2 Nicotech cars on row 4. Our championship leader, Dawson Miller, and Noah Clifton in the number 13, 4th in the points. Miller has gone to victory lane here before. We go back to season 3. Nathan Smith in the 25. A nice top 10 start for him alongside Henrik War, 2nd in the championship. Coming into this race, a winner from Coda earlier in the year. Would love to make some ground in this race. Same with Dominic Anthony, 11th in the starting lineup in this race, 5th in the points, alongside Christian Vargas in the 36 for Premier Racing Motorsports. Charlie Davenport in the 52, he's having a relatively solid season, 13th in the championship alongside Julio Cesar, who's won the last 2 races here at Kansas, but he's had a horrid run this year, 23rd in the points coming into this race. I think he's 23rd. Might be 24th. I don't know. Tyson Gifford. Depends on tie breaks. No, Tyson Gifford's 23rd in the points. Gifford, 15th in the starting lineup in this race, alongside our Daytona 500 winner, Travis Crampton, winner from Darlington as well a few weeks ago. Kian Raleigh and Colin Denton make up row 9, and rounding out the top 20, Tristan Allen and Jake Rogers in the number 40. So that's the top 20 in the starting lineup. You see the rest on the left side of your screen. And you see Kelly Lee back in there, that white Dodge. Lexmark on the car this week. Of course, the winner last week at the Talladega Super Speedway. Would love to do it once again, but it's got some work to do in this race. And then in terms of further down the order as well, there's Matthew Hubert. Talk about top 10 points, having a great year. Richard Fritsch as well in the 20, way down the order, 36th in the starting lineup. So everybody rolling off, which is good to see. This race, 67 laps. There'll be 2 pit stops, because they can only go about 30-ish laps, about 28 to 32 on a fuel run. There might be some strategy in this race, but we'll see. We'll see if this thing stays green. It hasn't historically. Every Gratton Cup Series race has had at least 1 caution in it here at Kansas, and only once the GRL race last year. That's the only race where there wasn't a caution. So chances of a yellow here in this race particularly high. We've had some cautions in the last few weeks. We have 5 at Martinsville, 3 at Talladega last week. As the pace car dives on the pit road, it's Alexander Rowe to lead the field to green for the 3rd time this year. And here we go. We're underway in the Hollywood Casino 400 at the Kansas Speedway. Thomas Troxell in the 62 getting to the inside of Rowe right away in turns 1 and 2, but he can't make it stick there on the inside through 3 or 4, and Alexander Rowe's going to clear out in front and will lead the first lap. It's just quickly on Troxell, 29th in the points coming into this race. Felt like he had to make some changes after what was a very disappointing first third of the season. He qualified quite well in this race. We'll just drop back to 3rd because Jared Oren just got around him in the 99, but still, he'd be pretty happy with the way he's running so far. But he's got some company. Dawson Miller, our championship leader, looking on the inside. He's won here at Kansas. You go back to season 3. Took the lead with, I want to say, about 20 to go. 14 laps in that race. Got the job done. Keep an eye on that 48 in this race. Same with this guy, Benny Watson in the 96. He's making his way forward. Nathan Smith has had a pretty rough season in his own right. 27th in the points. He's the highest driver in the championship without a top 10 finish this year. So he'd love to change that here tonight. In that number 25, he's got Dominic Anthony to the inside. And Brandon Bent, who I thought was going to get off to a bit of a better start, he's dropping position. So he's behind now Eli Bright. Noah Clifton trying to work his way forward as well in the 13, although looks like that outside lane is pretty strong in this race, which it can be. The conditions may be playing a factor into that. I don't know what the conditions actually are. I haven't seen them. But in terms of the conditions, that may play a factor in this race. There's Miller closing in on Troxel. Dominic Anthony here in the 39. Hey, good to see Dominic really back in contention. He's 5th of the points coming into this race, and got off to a poor start. Got involved in that crash in the Daytona 500. He just wants to win races. That's the one thing that you kind of talk about. 4 career Cup Series wins, 5 in total if you include the SRL 2 years ago. He just wants to start winning some more races, and then hopefully move his way up in the championship and be a championship contender. Well, here he is on the inside. He just got around Watson, and he's now having a crack at Dawson Miller. So the 39, who was quick at Martinsville a few weeks ago as well, he may have won that race if there wasn't that late race yellow. He got caught up in it with Watson, ironically enough, of course. And Dawson Miller went on to win that race. He still finished 3rd that day, so keep an eye on this 39 because he's got a pretty fast race car. And here he goes to the inside of Miller for the 4th position. Jared Owen is closing in here on Alexander Rowe. Rowe was challenged at the start by the 62, but been able to hold his own since. Jared Owen looks very quick here in the 99. He's qualified well here in the pass. So keep an eye on him in this race. We'll see if he can turn that into a strong result. Troxel there is still 3rd, so he, holding on, held those guys at bay at first, and doing a nice job. There is Dominic Anthony. He's now up into 4th. He's got around Miller. Same with Nathan Smith into the top 5, so he'll be happy with that too. Then Bright up to 6th. Miller down to 7th, ahead of his teammate Clifton. And Bright slides up the racetrack a little bit there. Not ideal for him. And now Miller's going to have a crack down to the inside. Nope, not quite close enough. And Bright will shut the door on him. Here comes Brandon trying to work his way forward. How about Rogers? Started 20th on that outside. He's worked his way to the inside, and here he is going for what is now a spot inside the top 10 underneath the Kian Rally. We've got Christian Vargas back in here. So all the 3 of the PRM cars right up here. Rogel Dawn started 23rd. He's made his way forward. Vargas started 12th. We got then you got Watson, Crampton, Henrik Wall here in the 71, 2nd in the championship, currently 16th on the track at the moment. Would love to continue to move his way forward. Dominic Anthony is really closing in on Troxel. And Troxel's dropping off the 99 a little bit. This 39 looks pretty racy. He's right up on the left rear there. Left rear quarter panel. Was very, very close. We'll stick behind him for the time being. Nathan Smith, this is really promising for Nathan Smith and Seminole Motors. We've seen Max Davis. What Max Davis has done this year has been very impressive in the 6. Nathan Smith has really struggled. Sam Adino has also struggled, although he got a top 10 at Talladega last week. But for Nathan Smith, for him to be running in this position at the moment, running top 5, he'd be pretty happy with. As Anthony has just got around Thomas Troxel. So the 39. There's someone to keep an eye on in this race. He looks very, very quick. Like, really quick. It's his teammate Rowe that's leading the race. That gap, it's just steady. It's just steady at the moment. It's just gone under 3/10 a little bit there. But, I'll tell you what, this guy, he is really quick. Not to harp on it too much, but he is really quick. Smith challenging the back there of Troxel. A little bit of a slide out of the turn. He's trying to get the power down. He lost a bit of momentum. Here comes the 48 of Miller. Got Bright right behind him. Brandon Bent, Jake Rogers also in this group. And Miller will get past and up into the 5th position. We'll clear off in a 1-2. The inside lane certainly going to its own a little bit. You see that outside lane, kind of middle groove there, I suppose, for Nathan Smith. He was able to get that run. There's a bit more grip there compared to, say, right up the very top, and Brandon Bent got shuffled out. It was in an awkward spot. He decided to go high. And Rogers is underneath. Side by side here for what is 8th and 9th. And then 6th and 7th here with Smith and Bright. Dominic Anthony has just got around Jared Oren. So he's rocketing at the moment in the 39. He looks very, very quick. And he may take the lead here in a second. He looks like the fastest car on the racetrack. He has the fastest lap of any driver on the track. So, he might get his wish of wanting to win more races. It looks fast straight away. It's Oren goes still 3rd. It's funny, Jared Oren's only had the 1 top 10 this year, which came in Atlanta. He finished 3rd in that race. He's had a lot of bad luck this year, Jared Oren, it should be said, in the 99. Here we go for the lead. The 2 teammates Rowe and Anthony, they'll be pretty happy here at Gifford Technologies Incorporated with the way these two are going about it. Well, they're pulling away too. They're nearly a second up on Oren. So these cars are quick. These cars are really quick. And having a look. No, he decided to pull back in. Of course, Gifford have won here before with Julio's season. You go back to season 4. And even though they've been, I mean, the Chevrolets, they're new for the year. Of course, previously ran Toyotas, but they've been quick in previous races. I mean, it's not surprising to see them run so well. I mean, they are up there. I think they're second in the team's championship, of course. And Anthony going for the lead now underneath the row. 5th in the championship for a reason. So, here's the 39. I mean, he's got a very fast race car. He's getting around Alexander Rowe. These guys are pulling away. They're over a second now ahead of Oren as Anthony will clear out of turn 4. So, the 39 to the front of the field. Rowe's going to try and switch it back. Not quite close enough as of yet. Will he make a move off in a 1 and 2? No, he will not. He's not close enough. So, make Anthony to the point here at the Kansas Speedway. Rowe second. Oren. Dawson Miller up to 4th. So, he's slowly making his way forward. Troxel up here as well. Still 5th for the 62. Still pretty good run for him. You got Eli Bright back in here. You've got Jake Rogers. How about Ken Rowley here in the 10? Currently inside the top 10. 9th at the moment. And then Smith rounds out the top 10. And Travis Crampton. Crampton going high here at the moment. He's going to lose a spot perhaps to Noah Clifton. These two guys still pretty close to one another. Rose trying not to let Anthony pull away in this 51. These cars are extraordinarily fast though. They're really pulling away. Of course, you go back to Colorado and what Rowe was able to do that day, that night I should say, at Colorado was just seriously impressive. He just completely blew the field away. And they haven't won since Gifford Technologies Incorporated. They haven't won since, but here they are, just these two guys just romping away from the field. Eli Bright here in the 95 is 6th. There's Rogers. Cam Rowley continuing to move his way forward. He gets around the 27. Nathan Smith, he'll be really happy with this. He'll be really happy with this to be inside the top 10 in what's been a tough year for him. Right on the move on the inside here of Troxel. He'll make that one stick. So he's inside the top 5 and Rogers closing in here too. And he's going to get the inside of the 62 as well. So he's been on the march. And it's number 40. Wouldn't surprise me if he were to go to victory lane at some point this year. He hasn't gone to victory lane yet. He is a 10-time winner, Jake Rogers, but he's had some fast cars. He's finished second a couple of times now. Didn't have a great run, of course, last week at Talladega, but he's a high-quality driver. Keep an eye on him as this year goes along. And then this pack back in here as Rowley drops a position to Brandon Bent. Got Clifton back in here, Crampton, Dawn. Just outside the top 10. He's just been consistent, Rogel Dawn, this year. Oh, that was pretty close though to the back of Crampton. He's just been so consistent, and that's the strength. That's what he's done this year. He's the only driver to have finished on the lead lap in every race this year. He's completed every single lap in the series. It's a testament to the car itself and what they've built at Premier Racing Motorsports, but he's a consistent driver. That's just the way he goes about it. So they continue to battle back in here. Now, this is the one I want to look at because Miller is no slouch. He's got speed, but he's got a faster car, I'd imagine, than Jared Oren. But the problem is these two guys are just so quick. I mean, they're just blitzing the field at the moment. But Miller's got a fast car. He's been closing in here on Jared Oren. And it's just got to try and find a place to make a move. He's right there. He's not quite close enough to make that move into turn 1. And then you've got Bryce and Rogers who are not that far behind either. And they've got decently quick cars too. Certainly Rogers. He's going to the inside of Bryce. Can't get the run out through turn 2, and so Bright will hold him off for the time being. I want to quickly take a look down this order. There's Henry Gore, second in the championship. He saw Brandon Ben inside the top 10. Gore in the 71. So just hovering around 16th. That's where he's been for a lot of the race. Just hasn't quite got it together as of yet. in this one. He's behind his teammate Tyson Gifford. He's had some good runs as of late. Here and actually, well, didn't last week, but he's had a couple top 5 runs this year. He was quick at Homestead. I'll keep an eye on him maybe in this race as well. There's Caesar, by the way, back down in the, what is it, 6th? Well, he's 16th at the moment, so they've just made some passes, I'd imagine. Oh, here we go. Pit stops. So a little bit earlier than I imagined. I would have thought they would have come in about lap 28 now, lap 27. So Rowe is in. We'll play the undercut strategy. Jared on also in the 99. So an undercut. You imagine that Anthony will come in this time. And he does. There he goes. Looks like Eli Bright's going to stay out here and he's going to take the lead and lead a lap. And of course, we've seen with the strategy, the way it's played out this year, we've seen a few times where certain decisions, they just backfire. All these guys staying out, they hope that it'll work out for them. There's Rowe, he's done. Jared Oren is done. So we'll see if of course, the benefit of the undercut, you get on a fresh tyres, fresh rubber, and you got more grip. You go a little bit quicker on the on this lap, the out lap, than you would if you stayed out a lap longer. You've just got you've got more grip to play with. See the rest of the field coming in here on lap 28. So ends of lap 28. So yeah, very interesting strategy here in this one. Jake Rogers has passed Dawson Miller, so that's a change for position on pit road. And there's Anthony. He's done, and he's still a long way ahead. Now, where's his teammate? There he is. So, Alexander Rowe here. This is going to be close. I think Anthony, will he be able to get up to speed quick enough? Or can Rowe use the momentum that he's got to his advantage? He's trying to run a bit of a higher groove. Anthony comes up. It's going to be close here. Rowe's got a very good run. He could go down to the inside, maybe into turn 1 if he wants. He has a peak, and he has a crack down to the inside for the effective race lead. And he will clear up now. So Rowe retakes the lead ahead of his teammate Dominic Anthony. But Anthony looking once again back down the inside. Not quite close enough as of yet. Still getting those tyres up to temp. And just building up momentum. So Oren remains in 3rd. Jake Rogers, Dawson Miller. That's the top 5. They have all officially cycled through. Matthew Hubert, I'm not sure what's happened to the 8, but he is at the moment last. Plumb last. That is not good for Hubert. Came into this race 7th in the championship. Had a great year. He's had a great year so far. But had a poor qualifying and is now well down the order. And so Rowe back out in front. Then Anthony, Oren, Rogers, Miller, as we said. Eli Bright. So he ended up 6th. So the overcut didn't end up too badly. Didn't work out too bad. Worked out alright for him is what I'm trying to say. Rogal Dawn, he's up to 7th. Travis Crampton inside the top 10. Nathan Smith, Kean Raleigh, and now Max Davis. So Davis 11th in the number 6. And again, and he's had a pretty good year too. I mentioned before, he's had a pretty good year. Henrik Ward, Tristan Allen. We haven't seen much of Tristan Allen in this race, but I must say a good stop because he's worked his way forward a bit. Ludovic Charette having a nice run here in the 23. Night where it really needs it. Same with Sam Vitale. Those two outside the top 35 and owner points. Currently 14th and 15th. They'd be happy with that. Steinbach, Gifford, Will Parrish, who was so devastated after what happened last week at Talladega. As we've had a change for the leads. We've seen that in the bottom left. Anthony's got back around his teammate, so he looks very, very quick here in this race. Rowe back down to 2nd. And these guys are just flying at the moment. They really are. Much from Anthony down to Orange, 2.6 seconds. And here's Miller. He gets back around Rogers, so he retains the 4th position. Well, not retains it, but he gets back off Jake Rogers. What was I saying before? You know, some of these guys back in here, you know, they need top 35, outside top 35 in points. Will Parrish was devastated, had that engine failure at the start last week after qualifying on the pole. Couldn't believe he qualified on the pole. Didn't even make it to turn 1. Was devastated with that. He was devastated. Charlie Davenport. And Julio Caesar rounds out the top 20. Again, not a great night for him. Leonard Koshma here in the 03. With the way the 37's running, he won't be too upset with where he is at the moment. 22nd. There's Kelly Lee, 21st. Change for position. And Brandon Bent lost a lot of ground there in 27th. He's now in 23rd. Back in there. So, a rough night for him. And he's going to lose a lot of ground to Miller. And Benny Watson's had a shocker stop too. Noah Clifton as well. Those guys are outside the top 30 at the moment. In fact, they're 35th and 37th. That's not going to do them any favours. And Thomas Troxell's 40th. Well, that's devastating for the 62, given where he qualified, started 30, he's now 40th. So he must have had a poor stop. You imagine the same for some of those guys as well, like Watson and Clifton and those guys. This race is far from over. These two guys have now pulled 3 seconds on Jared Oren, but neither can pull away from the other. It was very impressive what these two have been able to do here, these two Gifford Chevys. Now, 31 to go. I'm impressed to think that someone that isn't one of these two goes to victory lane in this race, especially with this one. Feels like a green flag race. A green flag run to the end. That's what it feels like. So we may get that first Cup Series race without caution here. Look at Rowe. I mean, he's trying to find any way he can. He just couldn't get that run through the centre. Lost a lot of momentum. And Anthony shuffled up a little bit to use that high lane. He's got a little bit more grip there to his advantage. He's doing a nice job. He's really holding them all at bay. Miller is closing in on the 99. And by holding them all at bay, I mean just Rowe. Because he's pulling away from everyone else. But Miller closing in here on Oren. And I mean, he's going to lose right now a bit of ground to Anthony, but he was already a race back. So for Dawson Miller, he's in a really good position at the moment to really pull away with the way Bent is running. Gore's outside the top 10. He's on for a really good result here. I don't think he'd be too upset with where he is at the moment. And look at that. He's just so close. He just can't find a way around him at the moment. Oren is just defending. He's just blocking every possible moment that he can. Look at this. Rogers is close right in here as well. So, yeah, I mean, this is impressive defending for Oren to be able to hold the 48 at bay for as long as he has. Now, Jake Rogers to the inside for the 4th position. And it's side by side. Once again for Rogers, he had a bad run last week, but he's top 10 in the championship, so he, this result, does him a lot of good as well. For Oren, if he can finish here, finish 3rd, that'd be very impressive. Look at these guys again; they're still going at it, still very, very close to one another. They've been the only 2 drivers to lead lap. Eli Bright led a lap, I suppose, on the pit cycle, but these two have led the just about every lap. Be very impressive. We've got almost 25 to go, with 26 to go. And that margin has deviated, and these guys are 4 seconds up now on Oren. It's remarkable what they've done. There's Rogers, but he gets around Miller. And so he is now up to the 4th position. Maybe he has probably won't get to the 51 and 39, but maybe he has something for the 99. It's so difficult to overtake in this race. Look at this. I mean, these guys are still right on it. Henrik Wall, by the way, has just cracked the top 10, by the way, in the 71. So, it's not. I mean, he won't be that far off. Much further off. It'd be a 5-point swing at the moment. That's not too bad for him, you'd say. Look at these guys. I mean, they're just ripping this. It's almost like they're just running qualifying laps at the moment. These two are just so fast compared to the rest of the field. Look at these guys back in here. I do have to wonder if Rogers and Miller, if they were to get past Oren, if they would be losing as much time. It doesn't feel like Oren's got the race car. It feels like he can just put it anywhere or just kind of block the guys behind him, but it just doesn't have the speed, the raw speed that maybe the 40 and the 48 does. Here they go down to the inside now. So Rogers now for 3rd. Should make it stick. And he does. Troxell. Yeah. I mean, what do you even say at this point? Is that going to be a yellow? Contact there between Steinbach and Lee. It's no caution because he was off the racetrack. And he was on the apron. There's the 62. What a shame for Thomas Truxell. And 847 is not what you want. And unfortunately for Truxell, he's out of this race. What a shame for the 62. Had a great opportunity. It hasn't quite worked out for him here in this race. And the poor stop and now an engine failure. Out of contention. And back up front, Anthony has now pulled out a bit of a gap. I mean, this is the first time he's been able to really pull out a bit of a gap on his teammate. And what this 39 has done has been super impressive. Looking for his first win since season 5 at Las Vegas. So nowhere near as long as what Kelly Lee had to deal with last week, but it's still over 30 races, which of course is what the full length of this season is. So still a fair while, still a full season between drinks for Dominic. He'd love to bring this thing home and get a race win, but we're just going to gain a 10th on the 39, so this thing far from over yet. Derek Hamill, by the way, and Matthew Hubert are a lap down in the 8 and the 44 respectively. 44 and 8, I suppose, as Miller's got around Oren. That's why I was coming back here. How about Travis Crampton? He's up to 6th in the 97. Once again, doing a very good job in this Ford. He's had a really rough few weeks. He was involved in the crash at Talladega, finished second to last. Engine failure in the first lap at Martinsville. He won at Darlington the week prior. So the last 2 races have been shocking for him, but this is a nice bounce back for the 97. He's ahead of his teammate Eli Bright, and then Dawn as well there in the 8th position and going for 7th. And can't quite make that one stick as of right now. This battle continues back in here. They're still trying to work their way through Hubert and Derek Hamill, as now Miller has got around Oren, trying to get around Rogers. And this battle for the 3rd position. Now we're getting close to pit stops. Now, of course, they did come in. Well, Rowe came in on lap after what, 26, 27 laps. Wouldn't surprise me here if he ducked off on a pit road in a couple of laps, and maybe try and get that undercut and use that to his advantage again. Took the lead away from the 39 with that undercut, albeit for a fleeting moment. So there's Miller. He's now up to 3rd. And again, I mean, you take that, I think. But Gore inside the top 10 now, so it's not like he's getting that much ground. It'll only be 6 points at this stage. Oh, someone else had a problem. Oh, Colin Denton! Man, another engine. This time 594. And he will be able to make it back, I imagine, but another engine failure. And he had a poor stop as well, so maybe there was more to it originally than what met the eye in terms of those pit stops. So he's out of this race as well. Tough break for him. It's been tough. Yeah. Oh, and a car in the wall. Matthew Hubert. Not sure if he got put in the wall or if he just accidentally overdrove the corner. But he'll have some right side damage that he now has to repair. I'd imagine on pit road. Doesn't look that bad at first glance, but might not be that bad, but you'll still probably have to come in and repair it. Now, I think Rowe's going to pit right here. And that's exactly what he's doing. So he's going to go the undercut. The 21 has made it back to pit road, which is good news. But Rowe's in. Pinning early. Undercut. He's the only one. Tell you what, Crampton and these guys are flying, aren't they? Look at Travis Crampton and look at Eli Bright. They are closing in on the guys in front. Impressive, to say the least. But that's what happened. I mean, these guys have been caught up in the lap traffic and they've been battling each other. It's allowed Crampton and Bright to close right in. And Crampton's got a real chance here to top 5 finish this race. That car's very quick. And now, Anthony stays out another lap. Miller's going to stay out. Rogers is coming in. Jared Oren is in. Oh, Sam Vitale's now blown up. What is going on? That's 3 engine failures in this race. Looks like, I think Rowe's taking 4. And again, that's off the racetrack, so there won't be a caution for it. But that's 3 engine failures. Wow. That was 8-7 too. That was severe for Sam Vitale. That's a terrible shame. Because at last count, he was inside the top 15. So that's a devastating blow for him. And now, here we go. Anthony is in. Eli Bright's going to run it long. Rogel Dawn's going to run it long. So they're going to be the leaders. Henrik War also staying out there in the 71. Looks like Kelly Lee, Addison Steinbach and company. You see some of these guys on pit road. Benny Watson there in the 96. Christian Vargas, 36. I think Rowe took 4. See, Watson's taken 2 there. And let's see, Anthony, will he take 2? Will he take 4? It's going to be 4. No, it's going to be 2. He took 2. You saw Rowe, he definitely took left side, so I think the 51 took 4. And with 12 laps to go, how much will that help? It's not a particularly high tyre wear track, but will that help? Now, Travis Crampton has made some ground in all this. Because he's quite close to Miller. He may actually... Rogers had a bad stop. Rogers came down, didn't he? Yeah, there he is. There's Rowe. He's taken 4. So now, you go back to Season 5. You go back to Season 5, and Will Parrish has taken the lead, by the way. He's running really long. But you go back to Season 5. Julio Cesar won the race with alternate strategy. It looked like Brandon Bent, for all money, was going to win that race after the pit stops. As there's Anthony, he's well out ahead. And now here's Rowe getting past the 48. So he took 4. Miller took 2. This is going to be close. This is going to be really close. 10 laps to go. And what I'm trying to say here is Brandon Bent, he came out in the lead. He had several second lead and you thought, geez, this thing is... You know, he's got it in the back. Well, right now, as Clifton is on pit road, so... We'll finally get this all sorted now. But it looked like Brandon Bent had the race won. Julio Cesar, who took tyres, mowed him down. And the margin is only, I say only, 3 and a bit seconds. With 10 laps to go, that's not a... I mean, with the tyre difference... I think if you're Dominic Anthony, you have to drive the wheels off this 39. Because you know Rowe will. He's got 4 tyres. You know he will. There's Miller. And does he have a problem? He was hitting the apron there. Oh, we had a crash! We had a crash. Is that a yellow? Yes, it is. Oh, that is a big, big moment in this race. Looks like maybe Vargas was involved. I'm not sure. That's a huge moment in this race. The caution is out. We'll get a restart. And Alexander Rowe gained over a second on that lap. Okay. This changes everything. Oh boy. Now you're really nervous if you're Dominic Anthony. Mate, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but with those extra tyres, you think the 51, and I tell you what, we were almost going to have a caution-free race here at Kansas, and it get a caution at lap 59. Oh boy. Dominic Anthony's the race leader. I'm not sure who's actually involved in this. I know Vargas is back there. He's now a lap down. He may have been involved, but I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. Dominic Anthony's the race leader. This is going to get nuts here on this restart. But let's take a look at what happened to trigger the first caution of the night. Well, I was right. It was Christian Vargas here in the 36. You see, sliding up the racetrack a little bit. And then it's going to be Benny Watson here in this 96. Who's had a frustrating night. And I'm not sure. Does he get into Williams? Gets into Williams just a little bit. Comes down the racetrack. And Watson with a full head of steam. Gets in the left rear and spins the 36 around. And he is sideways on the track. And that is what triggers the caution. And that is it. There's nothing else to it. It's just a simple little slide down the back. And that's enough to trigger the yellow. And changes everything. Because now you're going to have a restart. And Alexander Rowe just gained about almost 1.5 seconds on the lap. On that lap. So, yeah, this has just gotten interesting. But Vargas is now in the way. So we'll see here in terms of what happens on this restart. But tough break for the 36, who looked for a while like he was going to have a pretty good run here in this race. Here it is in real time. It'll just be a little bit. It was a very tiny touch between Williams and Vargas. It was so minuscule. You could hardly see it in real time. And then Watson with a full head of steam. Just gets in the left rear and spins the 36 around. And you can see here Anthony's going to round him up. And this could be big for the 39 because actually that may be why he lost a second a bit because he hit the apron. But I don't know. We'll see what happens here in this final. Well, I assume it's going well. It will be the last restart. We're under 5 to go. But first caution of the night. We'll see what happens here on this restart. Dominic Anthony, the race leader. Can he get home? Can he get home and get his first win of the season? We shall find out. We got one race, so we got a couple of laps to go here at the Hollywood Casino 400. Take it back to the green. Coming back to green right now. Dominic Anthony's the race leader. Christian Vargas is in the way of our leaders. Alexander Rowe, Dawson Miller, Jake Rogers and Travis Crampton in the top 5. Here we go. Back underway with only a couple of laps to go. A handful of laps to go. And Rowe's got the fresh tyres. He's got those extra left sides. He gets around Vargas. He's going to get him. He's going to get him. Maybe not right away, but he's right there. He's on the back of Anthony. And Vargas is holding up the guys behind him. It's a 2-horse race, as it basically has been all night. Rowe is right on the back. He just couldn't find a way around the 39 as of yet. But he's still got 3 laps to get around Anthony and get his second win of the season. If Anthony can bring this thing home, it'll be his first win in over a season. The longest tenured driver in the field, along with Tristan Allen. He's been in every single Cup race. He's got Rowe right behind him. Rogers is up to 3rd. He's ahead of Miller. But it's all about these 2 guys at the front. Rowe can't get there. He's too close to the back at the moment. He has to drop back a little bit maybe and have a run. 2 laps to go. Bright on the inside of Miller for 4th. And look at Rowe. He's clearly got more grip, but he's just so close at the moment. He's peeking out a little bit. Oh, he wanted to get down to the inside there. Couldn't quite. Here we go. They'll be coming to the white flag. Anthony's blocking the bottom. This is going to get good. This is going to get real close right here. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go for Dominic Anthony. Looking for career win number 5. Rowe looking for his second win of the season. He's right on the back of the 39. He just cannot find a way around right now. Oh, Anthony slipped up a little bit. Rowe wants to get a run. Down the back for the final time. Anthony into 3 and 4. He's got to block the bottom. He's got to block the bottom. That's what he does. He shuts the door on Alexander Rowe, and for the first time this year, it will be Dominic Anthony heading to victory lane in the Hollywood Casino 400 at Kansas. Dominic Anthony gets the job done. A 1-2 for Gifford Technologies Incorporated. Rowe second. He was so close. Maybe too close. He was just stuck on the rear. Couldn't get underneath the 39, and Anthony holds him off. Rogers 3rd. Miller, good night for him, 4th. Bright in 5th. Dawn, Gore, Davis, and then Lee ended up 9th, and Addison Steinbach 10th. You see the final results on your screen, and what was a very interesting race, and a lot changed there at the end in terms of that yellow, and maybe if that thing had stayed green, maybe it would have been Alexander Rowe that won that race, but it wasn't to be. Dominic Anthony gets the job done, and that is a huge win for his season. And he's 5th in the championship coming into this race, and he will move up in the championship because Clifton ended up a long way down the order. You see 11th through 20th. Crampton ended up dropping back to 11th. He had a really poor restart at the end. Ludovic Charette 12th. That's a very good drive. Oren Allen, Caesar 15th. Perez, Raleigh, Davenport. Duncan Ward ended up in the top 20. And Benny Watson ended up 20th. After all that, he was 35th after that first round of pit stop. So that's actually not too bad of a recovery drive from him. When you look down throughout the field, probably the big loser tonight was Brandebet, 26th in this race. And a devastating result for him, I think, all things considered. He just dropped back after the first pit stop. He lost ground and never recovered. A disappointing result for the 27. You go over to this next page, and a few tales of woe down here. Of course, Vargas with that incident late in the going. He ended up 37th. Matthew Hubert with what I imagine was a bad pit stop. Derek Hamill, I think, also had a bad pit stop. He also didn't have a lot of speed in that car, unfortunately. And then Sam Vitale, Colin Denton, and particularly Thomas Troxell, who was apparently out with an accident, which I don't know about. He certainly had an engine failure. I don't know if you can say it was an accident, but Troxell, who started 3rd in this race, ends up 42nd. A devastating blow for the 62, and what was such a promising night for him, but it's Dominic Anthony gets the win by less than a tenth in the end over his teammate Alexander Rowe. Championship standings, 13 races in, and Anthony makes some ground in this race. He moves up to third in the championship in the number 39, so keep an eye on him. He's 50 points back, it should be said, behind Dawson Miller. So Miller's still in a prime position to go and win this championship. Now 30 points ahead of Henry Gore. So for Henry Gore, that was a nice comeback, I'd say. And after all that, Anthony, as I said, up to third. Bent and Clifton drop a position each. Kelly Lee, Rogel Dawn, Rogers, Bright, and Davis inside the top 10 now, and some changes up and down the order here in this field. And I mean, you still got some of these drivers that could make in theory could make a run. They're a fair way back now. It should be said, like Allen, like Rowe. I mean, Rowe makes a bit of ground up in this race, but he's still 15th in the championship. Watson down to 17th in the championship. So some of these drivers that you imagine could really compete for the championship, still a long way down in this title fight. So for Dawson Miller, I mean, in the end, he's pulled out a little bit of a gap on Henry Gore, back out to 30 points, but he's in such a strong position at the moment with the way he's gone at the moment, and he got an average of finish of 10 through these first 13 races. So he will be hard to beat in terms of this championship, but you've got to keep an eye on this 39. The first win of the year. He's been threatening to do that. I said that at Martinsville, but he was close to winning that race. Had a very fast car. Got to keep an eye on him here in this run to the championship. These last 17 races still got plenty to play out. That will do it for us here in the Gratton Cup Series at the Kansas Speedway, the Hollywood Casino 400. Congratulations to Dominic Anthony and Gifford Technologies Incorporated. We'll see everybody next week at the Dover Motor Speedway. The Monster Mile should be a ripper there for that one, so looking forward to that. And will hopefully be another quite entertaining race. So congratulations to Dominic Anthony, and we'll see everybody next week at the Dover Motor Speedway.